We're on it? Okay. First topic is a resolution that's the first one on the agenda, 879. Angel Estrada wants to oppose New Jersey Assembly number 3285, pending legislation. They didn't do anything, but there's this legislation that's on the books, and we looked it up, about local contracts. They want you to get an estimate of what you think the contract's going to cost. And, you know, Bruce spoke on this, and I did, and this is pretty much what happened here, and then we'll come back and discuss it. This is like going to be like 10 minutes of back and forth, including a part where I get slapped. So, watch this first.
Good evening, Chairwoman Sandlin, freeholders, Jim Bittner, Cranford. I'd like to talk about Resolution 2011-879. I was wondering if Freeholder Estrada could maybe explain the impetus behind this, and then maybe the council could explain the term certain and how that's intended to apply for public contract bids going forward. It seems a little bit of an ambiguous term. When will it be applied? When will it not be applied? And why aren't all public contract bids needing to be have certified cost estimates and specific grounds for the rejection of the bids? That's one question.
Yes, through you, Madam Chairman, and through the offices of Freeholder Estrada. Through my association of the New Jersey County Purchasing Agents, we have an interface with New Jersey Associations of Counties, their new Executive Director, John Donadio. And there's legislation in Trenton to publish the estimates of bids prior to their opening. My association and the New Jersey Association of Counties, and I also believe the County Engineer Association, are opposed to this. Very simply put, if you went to a car dealer, would you tell them how much money you had in your pocket? That's really what it is. We're showing our poker hand before, we're telling them the budget. No one is going to bid under that budget if they know we have the money. Everybody that's going to bid is going to bid over that budget. So we really don't understand the purpose of the legislation, but we're opposed to it. And we like your indulgence to join us.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, one more thing. There's 7 other counties that have already passed resolutions to this effect, so we're joining them.
Thank you.
Yeah, John Berry, Kenilworth. I just have one thing, 879. I was interested in that too, and I looked at the statement of the law. And it reads, quickly, just 2 paragraphs. This bill would require contracting units, I guess that's you guys, requesting bids for construction projects to advertise their projected estimates or estimate ranges of the contract's costs. Oh, no, I guess contracting units is the people who are bidding on this. The estimates or estimate ranges would be attested as reasonable by the individual firm preparing them. Now that seems pretty reasonable to me. I mean, to avoid lowball bids, like somebody could bid like $15 million to build a clubhouse knowing it's going to cost 30, and they get the thing and they get change orders. And these minutes of freeholder meetings are filled with change orders. Some of them even not involving data. So I would think this would be, you know, a wet dream for you guys to get estimates before. But
It's inappropriate, Mr. Barr.
well,
It's inappropriate, sir.
All right, it's inappropriate. It said the bill also revises the laws authorizing the contracting units to reject, for any of various statutory specified reasons, all construction project bids. These revisions would limit the grounds for such rejection to those currently specified, require any such rejection to be done in good faith, and require a unit to state publicly its grounds for such a rejection. And this other part also seems like reasonable. I mean, this makes perfect sense. And what whoever came up here before and was for this, and if you've even read the law, that this looks like good government. I don't think you're going to go further and respond to this, but I think it's irresponsible to vote against this. And it'd be interesting to hear who told you to do it.
Now I need to make a comment, and I don't usually do this, but Mr. Barry, if you were putting an addition on your house and you were looking for people to put the addition on your house, and you said to the builders, I have $50,000 to spend, I think that every one of them would at least meet your price, if not go above it. Is there anyone else who'd like to comment on this evening's agenda?
Senior Madam Cranford, now I'm curious about that same thing. I'm glad several people asked about it because I was going to ask about it. But how do change orders factor into this? Is this going to change the way projects are dealt with? Are change orders mentioned in this? Is there a limit to how many change orders can be put in? Because it seems like, you know, I've watched the Union County Arts Center and now the clubhouse is extremely interesting. I really don't believe that project is going to be $15 million at the end of the day. And I'm wondering if this legislation somehow is trying to put the cards on the table up front, and then that's it. Then you get what you paid for, or you get what you thought you were going to pay for. Thank you.
Through you, Madam Chairman. To start off, this is a legislation that is in Trenton. We aren't passing anything tonight. We're not making any decisions tonight about it. We're just objecting to the legislation that is in Trenton, hoping to sway the lawmakers to see our point of view. It does not affect any other part of the local public contracts law except the specific things that we already discussed. So the change order laws will not be affected. And the other gentleman said something about the rejections of bids. That was specific to this particular amendment. It would not change anything about the laws, and they're very strict laws, and they're very involved laws about the way that we can reject bids. We have to do it by resolution, and we have to have the reasons that are noted in the local public contracts law. So it's very well regulated.
Thank you.
John Berry, Kenilworth. I'll make it quick. Two things to follow up actually on both on Bruce Patterson. And I think I see the problem here. I mean, looking from the outside, you know, you kind of see these things reasonably, but you make these statements because some professionals told you. I really question the professionals here, especially that thing about $50,000 per kitchen. Yeah, you do say I've got $50,000 to spend. I mean, you buy a car, you say, how much do you have to spend? That makes perfect sense. Otherwise, you get somebody bidding $5,000 for your $50,000 kitchen. This is practical. This rule is practical, and if anything, you get your plans, and the taxpayers know up front how much it will probably cost. If you build a golf clubhouse and say, we're going to build a golf clubhouse, what are we going to, without any idea of how much it's going to cost, it will get to a stage where you'll wind up paying $40 million. It makes perfect sense for someone who's not, well, beholden to the contractors to actually get a price up front and then get a better price. In all likelihood, you say, we want something that will cost $50,000, you'll probably get $48,000, $47,000, just as that's what the bidding process is for. But you'll get the people who know how to build $50,000 kitchens.
Okay, so that's it. And I made the point there, but I want to emphasize it. Scanlon was absolutely wrong, and she was given this speech I mean, imagine if you tell somebody you want $50,000 for a kitchen, they'll come in with $50,000. Well, it works completely the other way. Now, there are 2 points. First, it works the other way in real life. Well, if you want to fix your kitchen, you have to get an estimate first. You got to know what you're willing to spend, what you're willing to fix. You got to come in first, and then you get what you're going to do, and then you go in. So in real life, it's there. The other part of it is, and I don't think I brought this out, was it's government. You can't go out and say, we want to build a golf clubhouse, let's see what we get as far as bids. Now, there's a huge difference between saying we want to build a $15 million golf clubhouse and a $40 million golf clubhouse. And that's what this bill looks like it's supposed to nail down. That it's, you got to have people making reasonable estimates of what this cost is going to be. Perfectly good bill. And the only people who would be against it would be contractors who want to come in and bid $15 million and then 2 months later say we need another $2 million, another $3 million. I mean, those are the people who probably went to Scanlon and said, and gave her this really phony analogy and run with it, and she's up there spouting that. Now, common sense is against it, everything is against it. This is a good bill, but apparently 7 other towns or 7 other counties signed on, and this was all because of contractors. Contractors who are do the work over and over again for the same people, the same counties. They want to continue doing that, and they see this as a threat. If they come out with an estimate, then somebody else will know it, and there'll be competition. There'll be real competition, which is what they're trying to go against, and the freeholders just right on board.
That would be fair. I mean, that's what the construction industry does. I was talking to somebody about that the other day. I mean, a detriment to them, they're not making much money. All they're doing right now is keeping their people employed, so they're keeping busy because they're bidding, and everybody's bidding so low that they have to compete with that. So, yeah, it's what the industry bears. It's the industry. Why should government be different?
Seems like a very logical bill to me. I'm curious as to see who is sponsoring this bill in the New Jersey Assembly.
I don't know.
I wonder if that has something to do with it.
Well, John Wisniewski, I think. No, that's from memory. Wisniewski, and it was 7-1 in favor in the committee. But you could look at it. It's Assembly number 3285. You could find it, and I read it here.
Yeah, the favored contractors wouldn't be in favor of that law. They wouldn't work in their favor. They, it would put a crimp in business as usual.